So while most of you right now are probably pretty happy with the jobs you have, you probably are going to look for a new job at some point in your future. And for many people, that's something they dread, something they don't look forward to at all. And it's because a lot of times they don't feel like they have any control over the process. So my purpose today is to inform you about 3 key areas that you actually can control, which will improve your job search in the future. For the last 10 years, I've been working with recruiters, training them on how to help job seekers get jobs. And they've gotten thousands of jobs as a result. We've also captured best practices that job seekers have used and that you can apply, and I want to share those with you today. We'll begin by talking about creating an effective resume. Next, we'll talk about preparing for your interview, and finally, we'll talk about how to act in the interview. With that roadmap in place, let's talk about the resume. When searching for a new job, you need to create an effective resume. And first, what that means, it needs to be relevant and recent. And I know you took underwater basket weaving in high school, and that's great, but you don't need to include it on the resume. Anything from your distant past that doesn't relate to a job search, you can cut that out also. Second, no lies. No exaggerations, no white lies, no colors of lies. Assume you're going to get caught. Finally, you need to make sure your resume has no grammar or spelling errors. Any kind of errors on your resume are going to lead an employer to believe that you're not really a good candidate and they'll move on. So use spell check, absolutely, but also proofread and make sure that you have someone else proofread as well. So creating an effective resume should lead to an interview, and you need to be ready. So when searching for a new job, you need to prepare for that interview. The first thing you need to do is research the job, read the job description, and also read about the company, go on the company's website. Second, you need to prepare questions that you're going to ask in the interview, because the interview really is a two-way street, and you need that information. Plus, anyone interviewing you, when you ask questions, they're going to realize that you've done your homework and you're actually interested in the job. So now that you've prepared for the interview, you need to focus on actually interviewing. So when searching for a job, you need to know how to act during the interview. And our marketing department has summarized it best. They've said, you need to be yourself, but be the best behaved version of yourself. And first, what that means is being respectful and polite. You don't want to barge into the office and demand things from the secretary. Instead, what you need to do is tell them why you're here and who you're here to see. So secondly, when you actually meet the person, you want to do 3 things. 1, you want to have eye contact. You want to give them a handshake, a firm handshake, please. And finally, you need to smile, right? Smile goes a long way. Finally, during the interview, you need to listen completely to every question you're asked before you respond. It's not a quiz show. You don't have to jump the gun. Give yourself time to think before you respond. So in conclusion, although it can be very frustrating to seek for a job, and it can be somewhat confusing, maybe seem arbitrary, you now know areas you can control. So let's review those. First, we learned that an effective resume is relevant and recent skills on it. There's no grammar or spelling errors. Second, we learned that you need to know how to prepare for the interview, including researching the job and preparing questions to ask. And then finally, we learned how to act in the interview, being respectful and polite and listening completely to every question. So even if you do have a great job now and it's going well for you, in the future, in your next job search, you won't have to dread it, you won't have to be anxious about it. Instead, you can focus on the 3 areas which you can control and increase your chances of getting the job.